Hey, what's up guys, and yes, brand new series. Part 1 of What If Naruto Awaken, the Golden Dragon Soul. If you want to see part 2, comment down below and tell me you want to see part 2 and I'll be posting it as soon as possible. And also guys, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice, I indeed have 3 channels. Anime King 2, Anime King 3, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead and click that red subscribe button, become a part of the Anime King family, and thank you for all of your help and your support. And also check out the brand new series over Anime King 2 of What If Naruto was created from natural energy, and enjoy that guys. And yeah, so without further ado, what is to begin this new series? Start the intro. We begin this new series with our blonde hero, as he was making his way towards the Inazaka compound with a snow-white fox in his arms. It's been about a month since a wave mission where he gained his new Nindo to resolve and protect his precious people. The small fox that he held in his arms shivers slightly as he snuggles closer to the blonde to get more attached to his body heat. "We're almost there, Shiro-chan. Hana-chan will fix you right up," said Naruto as he made his way. As Naruto walked into the clinic, he looked around for Hana. Luckily for him, there was no one else there at the time. Hana heard the door open as she walked out as she saw Naruto. She smiled seeing him, with another animal once again for her to heal. She always enjoyed her little visits from the blonde-haired boy. He had a heart of gold and anyone could not see that. They were blind as a bat. She stood around 5 feet 6 inches. She had brown hair that had a red tint to it, as it was tied into a ponytail going down the back of her head, as 2 red marking fangs were on her face. She had beautiful chocolate color eyes and a heart-like face, as she was wearing a tuning jacket that was zipped halfway up. As she smiled at the blonde, "Well, Naruto, what's wrong with her?" she asked. "I think she has a cold," said Naruto, "but I'm not sure. You're the doctor after all." She laughed. "Come on," she said, "I'll take care of her." They walked in the back. The Himuro triplets, each the size of a good wolf, tackled Naruto down to the ground the moment they saw him, as this was not his first time here after all. He always brought her animals when he saw that they were in a bad state, wounded somehow, and the triplets got to know him for a while, as they started to lick him all over. Hana diagnosed a small fox. It just had a small cold, as she called out to her dogs to stop harassing Naruto because he could not get to his feet, but he was hit once again down to the ground. "Hey, no fear," said Naruto. "Hana-chan said that you should stop." As Hana chuckled, "Well, Naruto," she said, "you are right, she only had a cold. She should be good in a few days if you give her water and food." "Sure thing, Hana-chan," said Naruto. "Thanks again," he said. "It's no problem," she said. "You always look over the animals that you found. You're welcome here in the clinic anytime," she told him. He beamed at the priest as he chuckled and rubbed the back of his head. "Yeah, thanks," he said. "So, are you going to keep this one, or let it go like the other?" she asked. Naruto started to laugh because the fox had woken up and started to move under his clothing as it ran all around him, tickling him until it poked its head out of his jacket. As the small little fox tilted its head to the side, it was almost like a little puppy, giving him puppy dog eyes. As Naruto could not help it, he could not look away. "Well, I guess I can't ignore that. I will adopt Shiro-chan then," he said. Hana chuckled, as she realized that she did that a lot around Naruto. Well, he always found a way to make her smile. "Well, make sure you come by and get her checked out once in a while," said Hana. Naruto nodded as he ran towards the door. "Thanks, bye Hana-chan," he said, as he went away. While he was talking, he was sending various glances towards her. Hana wasn't blind. He was trying to be sneaky, but he was not so sneaky. She knew that he had a rough life growing up, and he doesn't deserve any of that, because he was such a sweet kid. always making her laugh. She looked towards the clock on the wall, as she was gonna go get a drink with Kurenai, Yujiro, and Anko tonight. Maybe that would clear her mind about Naruto. It always pained her to know how he was treated. Later that day, around 9 PM, outside the gate of Konoha, there was a man. He is around 5'11". He had silver hair that reached just to his shoulders. He had obsidian, black eyes. As he looked towards the village with a sense of apprehension, he just stood there unmoving. He was wearing a black sleeveless shirt with black cargo pants, as he was wearing black shinobi sandals. And he was also wearing a sleeveless Hiyori with black flames across the bottom. In kanji, it said Ryujen, or Dragon God, although most would misread it as Raijin or Dragon Blade. As a small smile came on his face. "So this is a place, huh? Hope I can find the kid," he said. He walked to the gates and handed them his papers. He nodded and he was on his way. He knew that it was late. He decided the search would start tomorrow. So he headed towards a prominent bar in the area, known as the Raging Tiger. As he walked in and sat at the open table in the back booths, as he watched the surrounding jonins and chonins eat, as he tried to identify if any of them had information on his target. Luckily, he sat close to the booth that had Hana and the girls. As Hana sighed, "I know I've been there a lot for him, and I don't want to really break his heart," Hana said, "but he's 4 years younger than me." As she knew, of all the glances that Naruto kept on sending her way, he liked her. And there wasn't a lot of people in the village that really took the time to talk to him. Most of them just glared at him. And she didn't want to break his heart. As Kurenai nodded, "I know what you mean. I've been lucky enough to break Hinata out of liking him." And she actually gained confidence. Just from these two sentences, the man was frowning rather badly. Who breaks a girl's heart? He closed his eyes and just for a second his eyelids flashed silver, before they returned back to their normal color. As he nodded, having gotten the info that he wanted. This was a rare ability of his, that he didn't use that often because, well, his morals, but this information was important to him and he had to get it at all costs. Hana looked towards Kurenai shocked. "Isn't that kind of mean, Kurenai?" she said. Anko shook her head. "No, it's not. She shouldn't be a fangirl." "She wasn't really a fangirl," said Yujiro. "She's actually feeding off his strength to get stronger. After all, it seems like his determination caused her to not give up either. But it's sad that we can't help him. As you said, Hana, he's a nice kid, but the council would cause so much problem that is unbelievable." Kurenai turned toward the senseis over to the side and said, "Speaking of fangirls, did you guys break yours yet?" Asuma sighed. "It's a work in progress," he said. As Kakashi glanced up, "You say something?" As a voice then spoke, "That's a we haven't tried because we're too lazy, if I ever heard one." Kakashi glanced towards his man. "And who are you?" he said. "Isn't it polite to introduce yourself first?" the man said. As Guy was the one to speak, "My name is my Guy. I wish to know who would dim the flame of my youthful comrades." "Well then, my friend," he said, looking towards Guy. "My name is Sora Ryu, and I wouldn't go as far as to dim your flames of youth. I say that they do that themselves." His face then switched as he seemed to get serious. "I heard everything that you people said, and I must say, I am rather disappointed," said Sora. "Now see here," Asuma said, "we train our teams." Sora snapped towards the man. "Do not lie to me," he said. "You simply train Shikamaru and Shogi, and leave Ino to go and be a fangirl, while a few simple genjutsus would have worked for her. And you allow Choji to eat, not really, working on his skills. As for you, Kurenai, you focus far too much on Hinata. You still train Kiba and Shino, but their clans have done the most work. I won't lay all the blame on you because you did offer them training at any time. They just don't fit your fighting style. Guy, you are the best teacher here. Although you never neglected your students, you did train Lee the most. But Tenten and Neji, they were never ignored. And as for you, Kakashi, plain and simple, you suck. You trained the Uchiha because of his bloodline, and neglected fangirl, who would have been helped simply if you had just put in the time to help her. To be honest, your biggest mistake is the orange, wearing prodigy, who simply need to learn how to control that massive chakra reserve of his. If you would have, his levels would have at least been a Jonin right now. But you neglected his skills, because you refused to train them." Everyone was shell-shocked at that, as this guy, whoever he was, knew so much information. Who the hell was he? As he then turned his sights towards the other girls. He looked towards Hannah and frowned. He then turned towards Yujiro as he scowled. And you. You say you want to help him, but the council stand in your way. Ignore them. You're a shinobi. You're not a helpless civilian. Are you not amongst the best kunoichi and ninjas this village has to offer? He sighed. Kurenai noticed that no one is looking at them. As she snapped her gaze towards the man. When did he put up a genjutsu? No one was even seeing the outburst that was happening right now. Don't worry. I'm not gonna attack you, it's a genjutsu, he said. But I already got what I was looking for. Kakashi narrowed his gaze. And what do you mean by that, he said. It doesn't matter. You won't remember anyways, he said. His body burst into a silver lightning bolt as he was gone. Once he was gone, the group looked around as Anko spoke. Alright guys, I'm gonna call it a night. See you losers later, she said. As no one remembered meeting that man. Later that night. This place doesn't even deserve to be called a home. Look what they put this small child in. It's basically a shelter to guard away from the wind. But a smile came on his face as he felt his target's power. He was happy to know that this place hadn't snuffed it out as he sneaked into the boy's place. The place was fair with essentials that some of them are mainly broken. He clenched his fist before calming himself. He felt his anger rising as he calmed himself down. It would not do good to have his anger spray out of control. As he looked down towards Naruto and the small fox. As he smiled. Perhaps he won't need all the work I thought he would. Sora thought to himself. Once more he closed his eyes as silver chakra enveloped him. Golden chakra rose and covered Naruto. As Sora looked at him, the chakras reached out before they touched as a bright, blinding light winked off as the chakra network pulsed between them. Sora found himself in the wall. As he slowly picked himself up, Arda feeling the Onvus and the Hokage making their way. He had to leave immediately, as he knew that he would risk detection, but not only that, he would risk obliteration. But not for himself though, but rather for Konoha, as once again silver lightning coated his body as he was gone, as Harrison and the Onvus arrived on the scene, after feeling the enormous amount of chakra fluctuation through the village. Meanwhile, in the Dragon Realm, Sora arrived as he dropped to his knees, as dragons were all around. Tears started to leak from his eyes, as a massive explosion of chakra seemed to reek out of his pores. The dragons were shocked. This was the man who hasn't cried in over a millennia, so to see him cry now, they were in awe. As he clenched his fists, I swear, Naruto, he said, nothing will stop me from helping you become what you are meant to be, brother. At the same time, within the seal on Naruto's stomach, a large red eye opened up, as a laughter could be heard in the cage where the Kyuubi resided. Well, well, kid, it seems you have someone rooting for you. Things will definitely get interesting from now on. Time skip. Kami's court. In all of existence, there are a few crazy beings that would dare crash into Kami's court while it is in session. Lucky or unluckily, Naruto has a friend that would do that, who was Ryu, also known as Ryugen, or commander of the Dragon Legions. Just as Inari was petitioned for having the Kyuubi set free, who would have guessed that Sora would have backed Inari's claim? Flashback. The fox was feeling the strange feeling until a silver chain materialized in front of the cell. As the chain revealed itself to be none other than Ryu. Well, 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 as the fox knew him, so if it isn't the famous Ryugen, he said. And here I was wondering who was favoring the kid. This certainly is interesting, the Kyuubi said. You know as well as I do that this hatchling deserves a better life. Will you fight him or will you leave him alone? Sora asked. The fox gazed narrow. I will not fight the kid, he said. Far from it. Should he ask for my chakra, I would give it to him freely for him to destroy these vile beings who claim to be humanity. As Sora was rather shocked, but he replied, so you would help Naruto? The fox chuckled, as his laughter was malicious, dark and cruel. Yes, although I would rather not die when he does, because of this stupid seal. or be erased for all of eternity. If what I believe is gonna happen will in fact happen. Sora smiled. In that case, if you leave the hatchling a gift, I will petition the court to free you. As the fox was shocked, done, he said. I shall leave the boy, the kid soon. Fighting style that rely on speed and debilitating hits. Should I be freed, all he would need to do is practice it, and he shall master it. It shall be done, Sora said. I'll be seeing you soon, Kyuubi. As the fox smiled. This is going to be interesting indeed, he said. This kid's life is going to become more interesting. End of flashback. As a court was silence. This wasn't a normal court. After all, Kami was involved. Ryujin, why would you back in here now? As Sora bowed, I struck a deal with the Kyuubi regarding his container. I believe it is best for all parties involved for the contract to be broken. The Shinigami. Step forward. I already took payment. Are you suggesting I return Minato Namikaze to life? Sora answered, no my lord. Rather release the seal and allow the Kyuubi and Naruto's souls to be returned back to their own states, not combined. The Shinigami snarled. That was not my agreement with Minato, and I shall not change it because of some half-ass petition. Kami, intervene. Ryujin. Shinigami is correct. It is his contract. Sora smirked at that. Then both souls shall be lost to the Shinigami forever, he said. The Shinigami roared in anger. Impossible. The only way for that to happen is if Naruto Uzumaki was able to manifestate a dragon soul, which would cause both of their souls to rip each other apart in a year. As Sora's smile widened. Well, I guess you're right after all. Naruto Uzumaki has manifested a golden dragon soul. So I'll let you be with your deal. As he started to walk away, the room was shocked. Fine, the Shinigami said. I'll release them, but you owe me, Ryujin. Sora smiled. How about Orochimaru and Madara Uchiha instead? For not reaping the kid's soul. Those, and Hidan and Kakazu, and you have yourself a deal. Meanwhile, at Training Ground 7, Naruto was unaware that things were happening, but they will be explained to him very soon. But Naruto was not happy at the moment though. He was blown off, as he was told to do the 3 walking exercise to better his chakra control. He had already mastered that 3 days ago. It was just so that Kakashi could train Sasuke. Sakura had secretly followed them, so that she could cheer on her Sasuke-kun. As Naruto was on the ground as he was rather angry. Man, Kakashi-sensei just blew me off again. What do I have to do to get some real training, he said. That was a scene that Sora and Inari came upon. Ask, and you shall receive, Sora said as he stepped from the tree line. Who are you? Said Naruto, as he pointed a finger at the man. It's bad manners to point, Naruto-kun, he said. By the way, Inari-san, can you please put about illusion so that Naruto looked sick and went home? My pleasure, Inari said. As Sora walked over to Naruto. Listen, Naruto, if you come with me, I'll teach you a cool jutsu for the day. Does that sound good? As Naruto was lacking in a lot of areas, not to mention jutsu especially, so here in this brighten his mood. Really? Kakashi-sensei said I couldn't be taught anything yet because my chakra control is not good enough. Sora frowned at that. Well, I'll help you with that. My name is Sora, Ryu, and this is Inari-sama. As Inari bowed towards Naruto. Okay, said Naruto, but where are we going, he asked. Why, to your house, of course, Sora said. Naruto's eyes narrowed, as he became aware of these people. Because the thing was, no one ever wanted to go to his house. The ones that did are usually here to hurt him, as he looked directly into Sora's eyes. But he saw no deception or ill intent. But the man could be hiding it. He decided maybe they should go somewhere public, or at least somewhere he could run from if this was bad. Why don't we go get some lunch at Ichiraku's instead, said Naruto. As Sora looked towards Inari, who shrugged. Sure, why not? Tell you what, I'll even let you eat all that you can, if you let me check if there's any seals on you. Naruto, being the idiot that he was, screamed, Free ramen! Sure, go ahead, he said. As Sora walked around Naruto, he came to a pause when he saw the prodigious seal on the back of Naruto's neck. This seal caused the sealed to lose 90% of their brain power, and about 68% of their full potential. It also forced the body to work at least 3 times harder to gain any type of muscle. or for any training to take effect. The only plus side is when you release a seal, you gain all of the previous training at about 4 times the amount of work. Basically, you gain 1/4 of what you should have when the seal is released. Listen, Naruto, he said. There's a seal on your neck called the Prodigy Seal. I'm gonna remove it, okay? Huh? What does that do? Said Naruto. As Sora smiled. It will make you faster and stronger. Do you want that? Naruto asked. Yeah, of course, he said. Do it. Sora nodded. Seal release, he said, as he slammed his hand to the back of Naruto's neck. Naruto's eyes widened as his eyes rolled the back of his head as he collapsed to the ground. As they watched as Naruto's body started to shift in front of their eyes, he literally started to grow muscle. As both Sora and Yuri looked down towards him, as Sora said, Man, that seal was messed up. It sealed 90% of his potential, and all but 5% of his brain power. It's amazing that he was able to function. And Yuri shook his head. Humans fear what they cannot comprehend. Shall we release the Kyuubi while he's asleep? Sora nodded as he held on Naruto while Inari reaches into the seal and said, The Kyuubi will not be allowed back in this realm for at least 1,000 years, unless the kid or myself summon him here. That shall be his punishment. As Sora agreed and nodded, as Inari unsealed the fox from Naruto. Because of them being there was no chance of him dying. But they will have to explain a few things to him later on, but for now. As Naruto woke up, sometime later, Ow, said Naruto. My head hurt. You could have at least warned me that it was going to be painful, you know? Sorry, Naruto, said Sora. So how do you feel? As Naruto noticed the other guy was gone. I feel great, said Naruto. Yeah, really great actually. It's kind of like I'm flowing with energy, and I can actually control it this time. As Sora focused on Naruto's stomach, as he saw that the fox left a bit of his chocolate inside the seal, he probably wanted to see what will happen to the boy now, with him being here. So, said Naruto, free ramen, right? Right, but before we go, I want to show you something. Huh? What is that? Said Naruto. As he raised to a finger, a silver chocolate shot into Naruto's head. As Naruto blinked several times the last few minutes, about the seal and Kyuubi came in Naruto's mind, and about what he wanted to do. So, you want to train me, although I don't know who you are. Why should I trust you? Said Naruto, as he decided to speak on that first. Not at all. I want to train you, yes, but it's up to you. If you so choose to accept, I will explain everything about myself, and why I'm here. And in the future, if I deem you ready, I will explain who your parents were. Wait, you knew who my parents were? As Sora nodded, yes. I want to teach you, but if you agree, you will know before the June exams. That I promise, and dragons never break a promise. As Naruto stood there for a few seconds, mulling over the information, he realized he was not gonna get anywhere with the sensei that he had right now. Then I guess we better get started, Sensei, said Naruto. As Sora smiled at that before Naruto's stomach growled as he looked down. As Sora laughed. So, ramen it is, he said. As Naruto smiled happily. Time skip. Naruto and Sora were at Ichiraku Ramen, as Sora was crying tears. He knew that Naruto could eat, but damn, could he eat so much? When he was paying 39 bowls of ramen, and he was not slowing down. He was already in his 40th bowl. At least, when he ate the 40, he seemed to be somewhat full, as he paid for the bowls. As he told Naruto that they need to talk, as he took off to his house. The man went through hand sign as he ended the hand sign on seal. A silence and seal light spread across the house, so no one could hear anything that you were talking about. Know that that's out of the way. We need to discuss your training, he said. As Naruto nodded, well, I definitely want to get stronger and smarter, said Naruto. Know that I can think clearly. I can't believe how much my training was being stunted. So the child clones in the library would be helpful, said Naruto. As Sora nodded in agreement. We will be doing that and will personally oversee your Taijutsu training and your physical conditioning. So when the time comes you can be trained in the Ryu, no Chichikai style. From your body build, I can say that you're built more for speed and agility than power and control. So we will focus on that until I begin to teach you jutsus. Yes, Sensei, said Naruto. But can I start in the library right now, said Naruto. I'm tired of being called a dope and an idiot. As Sora nodded. Okay, 30 clones and make sure they transform into something else. You know the librarian won't let you in. And also, you're not stupid. You're just ignorant. There's a difference. As two of Naruto clones use Naruto sexy jutsu, as Naruto's about to yell at them, but Sora spoke. Hey hatchling, do you have any idea what you just did? Huh? What do you mean? I used the normal transformation jutsu. No hatchling. This is an actual change in gender completely. There are many benefits to this. What do you mean? Said Naruto. I thought the jutsu was supposed to work this way. Transformation is not an actual transformation. It's a low level genjutsu. But with yours is an actual transformation. You can use this to infiltrate sex drug rings, to bust up several slaving operations, by changing yourself into an actual woman. Several ideas popped into Naruto's mind as he started to gape like a fish. As he could transform into Kakashi and let him wear a pink tutu around the village. Because his transformations were real, he could make everyone in the village think that Sasuke was gay. As several ideas made him chuckle. Naruto, no pranking right now. Get into the library and have at least two of them read up on the human anatomy. Sorry sensei, said Naruto. Couldn't help myself. It's fine, but no pranks. You have to keep this low key until after Chunin exams. They start in 3 months, so we need to get cracking. Alright, said Sora as he turned to the clones. Naruto, you read the anatomy. The rest of you find books on maths, strategies, science, and jutsu theory. When you're close to dispelling, choose one to tell Naruto and wait in 3 minutes interval before you dispel, so all the information does not rush back at once and make him pass out. As they nodded as they made their way off. Alright then, we need to get you some weights and some new clothing. God, orange should have been banned when you bought that. Hey, it's the only thing I could afford, said Naruto. Besides, I don't have the money to buy top quality equipment. Well, don't worry about that, I'll pay, and in return, you work your butt off, okay? As Naruto had to ask, why are you doing this for me, he said. Oh, that's right, I haven't told you why I'm so interested in you. Alright, listen closely. Naruto, you have manifested a golden dragon soul. Only one other in history has ever done this, and it was done over 2 millennia ago, during the Great Demon Wars. And that person was me, Naruto, he said, where I manifested my dragon soul through the defense of the people I love. But you manifested it through your uncrushable will and your kindness of all things. You are a far better man than I am. And I wish to tell you, no matter what happens, I will always be your brother in arms. When you fight, I fight. When you seek diplomacy, I will help in any way I can. No matter what, I consider you a brother, and I will always treat you as such. Do you understand me? He said. As Naruto looked at this man who claimed to be a brother. So he was the second person to awaken this dragon soul thing. And this man was the first person. So that kind of linked them somehow. Yeah, it did. But could he accept such a thing? Throughout all of his life, all he ever wanted was for someone to accept him. He thought Hana might, but this stranger showed up and promised to always help him. As he opened his mouth before closing it, he's been wrong and hurt so much time. He was afraid. He was afraid. How can I trust you? Said Naruto. I know you're putting yourself out here, said Naruto, but it's not easy for me. As Sora nodded, I swear on my dragon soul, the most important thing to me, that if I lie and stray away from the truth, I shall be struck down by the dragons I command, he said. As Naruto looked around, thinking that the man would be struck down, as he felt a strange feeling of trust. He still wasn't understanding fully what this whole thing was, but he had a feeling like he could trust this man, as he's never had someone that he fully trusts. It's always been pain, loneliness, as tears came to his eyes. Thank you, he said. I accept, he said. As Sora patted him on the head, it will be alright, he said. As Naruto moved to the man and cried, as he hugged him, he hugged Naruto back as he patted him on the back. As Sora looked towards the crying boy, he has been through so much, he always masks his emotions. But for someone to be truly open to him, for someone to truly understand him. It got him to open up, and he was letting everything out, and that came with a lot of tears. Shiro, on the other hand, had just woken up. As foxes had a sense, to sense something primal every animal had. Being the curious little fox as she was, she strutted out of the room. She saw the silver-haired man. There was this calm aura around him, and she knew that he didn't mean her master any harm. No one knew such a kindly, calm smell would do her master harm as she moved towards him. She started to move on his leg until he noticed her. He looked down with a smile. Well, well, Shiro-chan, he said. It's good to meet you. As he picked her up and started to scratch the back of her hair. Time skip. At the Higurashi shop, Tintin heard the door chime as she saw Naruto walk in with another man. The group seemed to know what they were looking for, so she allowed them to browse. As she wondered who that man was, seeing that no one wanted to really be around the prankster king from hell, which was Naruto's nickname. As she started to read back the catalog that she was reading, the legendary weapons, somehow someone got the photo off the twin silver dragon weapons. As it was amazing, Sora led Naruto over to the clothes until he found what he was looking for. As he gave it to him and pointed to the dressing room, as Naruto came back out looking a completely new man. Gone was the orange monstrosity, black muscle shirt, cargo pants with flames licking the bottom of it. He had a hair like Sora, but his was black with blue. As Tintin saw Naruto in the new clothing, she had to say, he looked a lot better wearing some actual good clothing and not just that idiotic orange jumpsuit. As she walked over, I didn't want to say it, but damn, you look a lot better wearing this, she said. If you don't bite, I almost feel tempted to give it to you, she said. Good, Sora said, because I want 8 copies of these clothes done in a month. Is that possible? Sure, but it will cost you at least 1,000 Ryu because those clothes has extra durability and growth and repair seals on them. As his smile widened, good, because you'll also need about 30 sets of kunai and shuriken, 5 rolls of ninja wire, 2 cases of exploding tags, 3 case of beginner sealing, Anvu shin and forearm guards. Oh, and chakra weights, but not the ones that drain chakra. Yes sir, said Tintin, surprised that you want that much, as that would cost a lot. But the man didn't seem to really mind. On the other hand, Naruto was looking at himself in the mirror, as this was a big improvement. As Tintin went to write up everything, as she came back to see him still looking at himself in the mirror. As Tintin squealed when she saw Shiro, the fox was just so damn cute. When all was said and done, as she finished petting the fox, they paid. Promised to shop there again as well. As Naruto packed the things that he had right now and stashed them away in his house. As Sora asks, hey Naruto, doesn't Shiro need to go for a checkup? Yeah, said Naruto. Wait, how do you know that, he asks. As he sighed, I don't like to do it, but lying to a dragon is impossible. An ability I developed allows me to read a person's mind for about a day. But since you have manifested a dragon soul like me, it allows me to see your entire life. This is how I know who your parents are and what happened. I'm sorry if you feel violated, but I was not expecting to see everything, just maybe the last few days. Well, I guess it's okay, said Naruto, as long as you promise to tell me about your life later. As Sora nodded at that. Then fine, said Naruto, just don't do it again. Sora nodded. Listen, summon a clone and have it dispel other clones. While we walk, he said. As Naruto nodded. Time skip. Hana was not happy right now, as someone that she disliked walked in. His name was Shinsui Ayasukawa, and he was the son of a civilian council member. He was a short little thing, around 5'1" and 28 years old. He kept on coming in every week to harass her and ogle her every chance that he got. He'd been after her for months now and she was tired of it still. He was a customer. Hello, she said, smile fakingly at him. I suppose that you're here for a little sunshine checkup, she said. Yes, he said, a broad smile. You're the only one I let take care of my little sunshine, Hana-chan, he said. Her hand twitched as she wanted to punch him. What gave him the right to call her Hana-chan? Once again, she swallowed her pride as she performed her duties. It was about this time that Naruto and Sora walked in the clinic. As Naruto saw the short guy. That guy's a councilman's son, Shinsui Ayatsuwa. He's been harassing Hana-chan for months now. I'm surprised her feral side hasn't kicked in and ripped him apart, said Naruto. Sora nodded in reply. You still keep the recorder on you, he said. Naruto nodded. Keep it going. We might be able to catch him in the act. As Sora went through hand signs, as the both of them vanished in an illusion. Meanwhile, Hana took the little, small dog as she went to the back. As the man followed behind her, neither of them noticed a small shimmer in the air. As she proceeded with her examination, the man, checking her out from head to toe, as he was not making it subtle. It seems the small pup had swallowed something solid. She had to determine if it was something harmful or not. Luckily for the dog, it wasn't. So Hana-chan, how is he? Oh, he has a small solid object in his intestinal path. But it will pass soon, so you don't have to worry about it, said Hana. Well then, how about I pay you for this? And we can talk about something a bit more personal, he said, as he moved closer to her. He did not phrase it as a question. Hana's fist clenched behind her, but she did not retaliate, the reason being, his family had a lot of power in Konoha, and if she retaliated or attacked him, or even turn him down, they would turn their sights on her family and her clan. On the other hand, she wanted to rip him apart. She decided to go about it a bit more professional. Please pay and leave. I have nothing I wish to speak to you about personally, she said, as he was not used to being turned down. After all, his family had a lot of sway in Konoha, and he always get what he want. And he's been chasing her for too long. Well, in his opinion, a few weeks were too long. He would not take her, no. He was a council member's son. How dare she turn him down? Who would turn down a date to one of the most influential people in town? This Inuzaka bitch had not only turned away all of his advances, but she dared turn down his offer? He was pissed. Now see here, as he grabbed her wrist. I don't know if you know this, but my father is on the council. You have ignored my advances for weeks now. And when I offered to ask you on a date, you refuse me? Who the hell do you think you are? As neither of them noticed that the place was getting unnaturally hot. As Sora had to hold Naruto back physically, as he was losing it. As seeing this little short punk grab Hana like that. Advances, Hana said. You did not make advances on me. You ogled me every chance you got. I do not want to date you, and I refuse to do so, she said. Those are my advances. You should be honored to be picked by me, he said. And if you do not, I will just have to tell my dad that you've been overcharging me for each of my visits. After all, who really knows what goes on back here? Hana lost it as she gripped his hand and forcefully took it off her. Leave, and tell your father whatever the hell you want. I have done nothing wrong. Perhaps, but I'll have you one way or another. As he started to step towards her. Despite being very influential, he was not really nothing. As Hana grabbed the man and tossed him as he broke right through the double door. As Tasume came out of where she was with Kuromaru. What the hell is going on here, she said. Hana was stunned. She almost threw him right into her mother. She was gonna get in trouble now when she knew it. But the Anvu showed up. Ayatsuwa-san, he said. Your father's looking for you. Get home immediately. The man scooped up his dog that rushed towards him. As he rushed out of there, as Naruto and Sora came out of the back. As Kuromaru narrowed his gaze on the man as he sniffed. As Sora turned towards Tasume's dog. Kuro-shan, he said. As the dog growled, as everyone looked at them. I'm sorry. It was just too good to be passed up. How are you, Kuromaru? All grown up now. I'm sure that you have your own litter to worry about. Kuromaru smiled, well, as best as a dog could smile. Indeed. And I'm just fine, thank you, Raijin Dano. By now everyone was confused what they were talking about, as Sora went over and hugged the dog, as Naruto figured out that Raijin was, perhaps, his title. What the hell is going on, said Tatsumi. First I find my daughter harassing some customer. Then Naruto Uzumaki showed up with some guy and now you're acting like old friends. Kuro, explain. As Hana lowered her head, she didn't have any evidence. But her mother would believe her, right? But Sora held up a recorder as he pressed it. Tasumi started to lose her mind as she heard that little piece of shit speaking to her daughter that way. As he gave it to her, "Thank you for this," she said. "Don't thank me, thank the kid. He's the one who carries around a recorder." As Naruto smirked, "Never know what you can find out. And it helped to have proof," he said. As Hana focused on Naruto, grateful that he was here, she finally noticed his new clothing. He looked so different, more cute. Not to mention buff. What the hell? Was he always that buff, she wondered. She shook her head. What was she thinking? He was 4 years younger than her. "Listen, why don't you close the clinic early? And we can talk in your home. I don't feel comfortable saying everything out here," he said. "Very well," said Tasumi. "But this better be good." Kuromaru chuckled. "If he's gonna say what I think he's gonna say, trust me, Tasumi, you'll be gobsmacked by the end of it." Later that night, 7 p.m, at the Inuzaka's, I ordered some steak shish kebabs from the Akimichis. They will be here soon. "So can this get started already?" said Tasumi, as Sora turned towards Kuromaru. "Your honest voice, old friend. What do they think of Naruto?" Everyone is surprised by the question as Kuromaru spoke. "The council can't stand him. They will do anything to keep him down. Hana has always treated all the animals he brings around. Tasumi always try to support him when it comes to votes in the council, but it is always in the minority." Tasumi and Hana looked towards Kuromaru, wondering why the dog was telling this man all this. "I'll be honest with you," he said, looking towards the woman. "My name is Sora, Ryu. My title is Ryujen, and I need your solemn promise that nothing I say here would leave." They looked skeptical, but Kuromaru spoke up. "Promise him, ladies. He will tell you everything when it is done. You will know why he swore you to secrecy." The both of them looked back towards him. "We promise," they said. "What you say here will not be repeated by us." The food arrived, as Tasumi brought it in. As Sora then put up the silence and seal, as he explained from his arrival in Konoha, and his meeting with Naruto and seeing his memories, and how they put everything against him to screw up his learning. "That's a lot to take in," said Tasumi. She knew that the council never liked him that much, but to go this far, to actively change his life, this is a lot to take in. "If Kuromaru hadn't backed up your claim, I wouldn't believe you," she said. "I know, but believe me, I would not lie to friends of Kuromaru's." "Naruto, is what he said true? Were you really under that seal?" "Yes, Hana-chan," said Naruto. "Lucky. Sora found me, and we start to reverse the effects." As Sora looked towards Tasumi, "Is it true that the civilian council is keeping women away from Naruto, so that he won't have any children?" As Naruto was shocked by that, Hana hung her head in shame. "Yes, they are. They told all the clan heads, if any woman got close to demon breath, that she wouldn't live to see another sunrise with the ability to produce children. They supposedly have done so back in them, but no one can prove it." As Hana understand why her mother said that now. She was being forced. "Why didn't you tell me? You just told me to stay away." Tasumi sighed. "I knew that you like to see his smiling face every day. It always seemed to make you a lot happier. And those animals he always brought to the clinic as well. Personally, I was hoping that he could brighten your day, and perhaps you could return the favor to him. He does brighten my day. As for the council, I wouldn't have cared. Naruto is probably the kindest man I know. He does deserve to be treated this way, Mom." As Naruto was surprised, as she was standing up for him. As a smile was on his face, Hana looked towards him. "Thank you, Hana-chan," said Naruto. As Hana melted at his smile, he was just so cute. "Well then," Sora said, "since we're in agreement, how about we make plans to take care of this situation?" "And what might your plans be?" said Tasumi. "In 3 months, the Chunin exams are being held. I am training Naruto and he will be ready. During the 1-month break, I will be taking him to train in the dragon art, amongst other things, for 4 years. "Wait, 4 years? I won't make it back in time," said Naruto. "Normally, no," said Sora. "But where we're going, time fluctuates a lot different. So while we'll spend 1 month there, back in the elemental nation, it will be 4 years where we're going." "Really?" said Naruto, as he nodded. "So, dimensional hopping," said Kuromaru. "So wait, when he comes back, he will be my age?" said Hana. As Tasumi laughed. "What's so funny, Mom?" "Well, you had to specify the fact that he will be your age." I didn't mean that. I was just..." As Tatsumi just continued to laugh. As Hana went quiet. Yes, he will be your age. Naruto, if you accept this when you do come back, your heritage can be claimed. Tatsumi raised an eyebrow. Trust me, his heritage. Is that important? Said Sora. Well then, we'll see you guys soon. As Naruto nodded, see you guys later, he said. As Sora placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder, and he was gone a lightning bolt. Well then, at least in 3 months, things will get interesting, said Hana. As her mother did not reply, she turned towards her. Why are you smiling that way? Oh, I'm just saying that I approve if you want to. If I want to what? Oh well, said Tatsumi. If you don't, I'm sure he'll make another woman very happy. Maybe I'll try myself. Well, what? Said Hana. As Tatsumi burst out laughing, walking to her room, leaving Hana blushing at the thought. Was she really thinking about this? Naruto was just her cute little friend. And now to think that he might get 4 years older so quickly, he will become her age. As the thought could not leave her mind, as she blushed some more. She will have to wait and see after the months were over. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to see next person, do like, subscribe, comment down below, turn on that bell notification and stay posted. And also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto was created from nature energy over on Anime Making 2. Yes, I did have 3 channels, Anime Making 2, and Making 3, which I post what if on every single day for you guys to enjoy. So go ahead, click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime Making family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And yeah, without further ado, what is to begin this new, what am I saying? What do you say we get the hell out of here? See you guys soon. Peace.